And it says we're live.
It lies. Oh,
Lies like a rug.
if you would like, well, hell, this morning I couldn't see off my porch because of the fog.
Yeah.
If you would, it's Texas, it's weather, send money. Seriously, this morning the
Yeah, I know.
fog there. If you like coffee, talk to these guys. Be sure you let them know about you that you heard about it from us.
Yeah, their monthly sale is up, by the way.
Is it then?
Yes. You've done that one already. Underneath it.
Oh, brain thinky, no thinky. If you like Smart Ass T-shirts, Among the Leaves tees, let them know you heard about it from us.
Hey, David, we've got quite a crowd already today.
I need to talk to you about doing an interview later.
Which you are you talking to?
David.
Okay.
I need to talk to you about showing up and being interviewed somewhere along here.
Well,
and the other 10 million things I've got going on right now.
No, Richard, we have not seen a
or is he
package.
going to interview you?
I'd like him to interview me.
All right, have a good one, Mark.
Sounds
Sounds like a threat. Yeah.
David, when you interview him, don't forget to ask about his favorite pets, the monkeys.
Yeah. No, Kermit, but it'll be interesting to see if this 5150 organizations.
I never heard of them.
I hadn't either. 5150 organization supposed to be protesting in all the state capitals today.
5150 is a California penal code for cuckoo with Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
That I've heard of.
Emotionally disturbed person is a 5150 in California penal code.
Yeah.
I only know that. It's an EDP in Texas. Before we get off on the really interesting stuff, I would like to point out that one.
Oh, that was supposed to be yesterday.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, I noticed they didn't show up here.
Yeah.
That we have giant squeeing robots out. Part of TC Ross was editor for Giant Squeeing Robots, so she's getting a cut, and she really needs the money right now because ICU is not a cheap.
No.
A stay in ICU is not cheap. So if you would like to support Tiffany, buy Giant Squeeing Robots. If you'd really like to support her, she's got multiple other books out. Buy one of them. Yeah. Yes, Hinckley Korea has moved up from Team and More to being on the cover.
Yep.
Larry is chuffed.
Yeah.
All sorts over that. But again, Giant Squeeing Robots. You can't miss it. It's on Amazon. Got a bunch of pink marshmallow robots on the cover. And Rita did the copy edit. She went through and made sure all the commas were in the right place. And she said there wasn't bad story in a lot. As far as Tiffany goes, she's also got a GoFundMe. No, Give, Send, Go. We don't use GoFundMe. She's got a Give, Send, Go up. If you can't donate, and I completely understand, would you kindly spread the word? Grab the link and throw it around because Tiffany's good people, and she really. I see you. Trust me. At one time I thought I was gonna have a suite in ICU named after me.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in ICU, folks. It ain't cheap, and she needs the help. So, okay, now I'm on the right channel. I saw two crazy people on the screen. I knew it was on the right channel.
Yeah.
It's going to be a day, folks. I'm just a little bit. My squirrels are bouncing.
Yeah, you can grab the link, Kermit.
Yeah, Kermit, put link in the hell if you can grab the link for Giant Squealing Robot, stuff that in there too.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Larry, his Oopsie book.
Oopsie book?
Yeah. Book 6 in Heart of the Mountain is out.
Oh, yeah.
Saga of
It's
the Forgotten Warrior.
got #1 new release in Military Fantasy. Well done, Larry.
The interesting thing is he was number 9 in one of the other epic fantasy.
Really?
Yeah. The 8 ahead of him were all Brandon Sanderson.
Yep. You did good.
But Larry,
take what you can get, Larry.
Larry, much like John Van Stryke, got down to the quote unquote last book and went, uh-oh, I got too much material.
Yeah, he broke into two.
Broke it into two,
Yeah.
and John's doing the same thing with his Wolfhound series.
I was sorely disappointed when I came to the end of book 5 and it wasn't the end. And I'm going, this ain't. Oh, he had too much material afterward. He had too much material.
Yeah.
Good. Boop.
Yeah, Padre, that's not nice. They named the ICU at the local hospital after skier Peekaboo Street.
Peekaboo ICU.
Yeah, Peekaboo ICU.
That's an old joke.
Yeah.
That's an old joke. Okay. Got Giant Squig Robots out of the way. We got Tiffany Ross out of the way. Larry out of the way. So I can go off on a rant. It is not USAID, folks. It is USAID. Don't call it USAID. That makes it sound like it's
Something it's not.
something it's not. United States Agency for International Development. Now, y'all do know what USAID was, right, or was, right? And I've been tremendously disappointed because when USAID, I may have read about this, but I don't, robot or squirrels. USAID was designed to project soft power in support of American interests. That's what it is from the get-go.
It was started under Kennedy as a CIA front.
Well, it's designed to project soft power.
Yep.
So what they did is if you had, let's say, you have a country in Africa, and we'll call it Mongo. And Mongo is having issues with, say, the UN and maybe Soviet advisors. So the People's Democratic Republic of Mongo needs some money to build wells or hunt down mercenary advisors. So USAID would take a line item marked money for wells in the People's Democratic Republic of Mongo and send it, and it would go to warlords who would hunt down not Soviet advisors. That's what USAID was for. Now it actually did fund a lot of wells.
Yep.
It did fund a lot of wells, but that was in the minority. The majority of money USAID was throwing out there would be labeled 25 bags of rice, $500,000. And that money would go to a warlord somewhere who would make life very, very interesting and brief for enemies of the United States. It was USAID was to further the interests of America. Okay.
I know a lot of y'all are not old enough to remember, but in the early 60s, in the early 60s under Kennedy, there were a number of Roland Thompson's ammo doesn't come cheap. Yeah, exactly. There were a number of countries where the U.S. was effectively going head to head with either Russia, China, or Cuba.
Mostly it was the Soviet. It was Combloc.
It was Combloc, yeah.
Communist bloc.
So one of the things that Kennedy did was slip a number of black CIA, black being the acronym at the time, unattributable, shall we say, Green Beret teams and a few Navy SEAL teams into certain countries to further, quote unquote, the battle against
American interests.
American interests.
Not to further American interests.
Yeah.
And as always, if your men are caught or killed, this state secretary will disavow all knowledge of your.
Well, you wound up with sterile uniforms.
They also used USAID to shovel money, as he insists, to those warlords to help counter the money that was coming in from Russia, China, Cuba, whoever it was.
So if you were in Africa and you had a boss named, let's say, Latrice Lumumba, who maybe certain Combloc nations may have named a terrorist training school after. Mm-hmm. And Latrice Lumumba is running rampant in this country. So you want to and supporting Soviet interests and you want to support his opponent, what you do is you don't dedicate $250,000 to assassinating Latrice Pomomba. What you do is you send that money, formula for babies.
Yeah.
And then everybody knows the money, and that's what it was originally designed for. So earlier in the week, when I heard that, Musk is going through USAID, and oh my God, they sent $50,000 for LGBTQ operas in wherever.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And I'm a little cynical, and I understand global politics and diplomacy better than most. And I thought, well, that's what the line item is for. But I think it was Colombia or whatever. There was something, and it was this ridiculous LGBTQ thing in a country. It's like, no, that's not what the money. And then I found out that was what the money was for.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, Rita had to punch the power button. The Windows shutdown noise echoed around the office.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what? And the $54,000 to condoms in Gaza. I was pretty sure USAID was sending $54,000 worth of untraceable AKs to anybody who didn't like Hamas, who was intending to make Hamas really, really, really nervous and brief. Now I find out that, it was probably, and I just...
Yeah.
What?
Well, and to top that, paying for subscriptions, quote unquote,
Oh, that's the good one.
to Politico, the New York Times,
And BBC.
and BBC. How the fuck
Yeah, that's just
do you
$8
justify
million to Politico? This
that
is
much?
not
Yeah.
this is not furthering America's interest. Sometime, somewhere along in there, once I got out of stuff, USAID went stupid. This money was USAID, and the money was designed to further American interests, not the interests of squirrely little minorities in the U.S.
That's another good one, Kermit. The disaster recovery from Morocco that was sent to Fairfax, Virginia.
Again, that doesn't. Fairfax, Virginia went straight to CIA. Okay, I understand that. I understand a line item that says one thing, and knowing full well the money's going somewhere in furtherance of American interests.
Yeah,
It's
see,
not doing that.
It was actually condoms. It was, believe it or not, it was actually condoms. And the sad part, folks, is this is the tip of the iceberg. The Department of Elevator Music Standards saw that today.
The what?
Department of Elevator Music Standards.
In other words, MUSAC. And Sanford is now speechless and waving his hand, going,
Again, I'm used to global political and diplomacy. I'm cynical as hell. I know how the sausage is made. I know why the sausage is made that way.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. And most Americans do not and cannot understand what has to be done actually in the world.
Yeah.
They don't.
Making sausage is not something most Americans are familiar
Nope.
with.
Nope.
Well, and if they saw it actually being done, they would not like what they were seeing.
No, they wouldn't.
And they would not be able to eat sausage again.
And it's still necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, the sausage is beaks and dick tips. The sausage making and global political diplomacy is no better, but it's got to be done.
Part of the problem too is that what USAID was really doing was funding the left.
Yeah.
To put it mildly,
They were funding minority bullshit.
Yeah.
The political aspirations of a tiny minority that not only does not further American interests, trust me, the rest of the world, LGBT, whatever, the barbecue folks, is not a winning combo in the rest of the world.
No.
It does not. LGBT operas in Pakistan do not, trust me, do not further American interests. If anything, it makes them hate America worse.
Yeah.
Well-
Neither does funding Billy Crystal, the anti-Trumper. But yet he was funded through USAID.
Well, if we sent LGBT people, the activists, to Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, then they would cease to be an issue. Notice I said the activists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend, he passed a few years ago, but his opinion was, okay, I'm gay. Quit beating me over the head with your rainbow flag.
It sounds like Ray.
Well, yeah, it sounds like right.
This
Ray-
guy was, he'd have been a Trumper if he'd lived through
Yeah.
this era.
Ray was said point blank when California passed one Prop 7. I can't remember which proposition it was about marriage between gays. He said that is the end of the gay movement. We will be shoved to the side and somebody else will take over. And he was prescient because now it's everything
Here's
trans.
President. No, it's just
I somewhere we lost somewhere the leftists got a hold of what was actually a pretty smart idea.
Yeah.
And stump broke it.
Yeah.
And why they were allowed to do that?
Because it was covered up. It was covered up by every president that came through.
It's a Jana. How's Henry?
Not dead yet.
Well, that's good.
He's just gonna kill me though. So
Oh,
no, he gets to stay at the spa.
uh-oh. He's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually funded by, the ID, true or false. Yeah.
I wish. Unfortunately, the Musk and the Doge kids, God bless their pointy little heads, weaponized autism for the win, have shut down USAID. Otherwise, Racketeer Press would be applying for a grant from USAID.
Yeah.
Because what the hell?
Free money.
Yeah.
If Politico can get $8 million, why can't Racketeer Press? I could do a lot of work with $1 million grant from USAID.
You could do a lot of work with $100,000 grant from USAID.
Apparently, if BBC can get money from them, I should be able to.
Sean, that's an excellent point. They also funnel money to Republicans in various ways through the International Republican Institute. Yes. That's the point, folks. They were playing both sides of the coin. They were playing primarily on the left with probably 80 to 90%. 10% was going to Republicans as a payoff. The other thing is, this is, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. Treasury is going to be another one.
Ooh.
Because Treasury has never not funded a line item. The direction was to the approving authorities. They would always approve anything that came to their desk.
They were never, apparently, according to Elon on Twitter, they were never allowed to not approve it.
Yeah.
No matter who it went to.
That's
But-
going to make things even more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said something about hitting, Wally said hit up Peter Thiel. The only reason that I'm probably not going to hit up Peter Thiel, probably, if we get any more desperate, is because his money comes with purse strings.
Yeah.
It comes with strings attached. Apparently, USAID money didn't.
Well, yes, it did. You probably had to parrot the right little propaganda for the left little side.
That's a possibility. That's actually a probability. The other thing is, now that Biden's gone, a friend of a
He's been gone
friend
for a while.
who lives in Delaware, who is a former employee of a TLA, got a phone call asking for him to support either with job, money, or time a run for Joe Biden for Senate.
Jill,
Yes.
Doctor, Mr. Mrs. Biden.
Yeah.
No.
Shouldn't she be in court for 5 years of abuse of a corpse?
Yeah. Well, elder abuse.
Elder abuse, among other things.
Abuse
Yeah,
of a-
that's the question, Kermit. What are they really trying to do? Is this a scam just to get more money for them?
Well,
Or
apparently,
is she actually going to try to pull a Hillary?
since the taps got turned off at USAID,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. So they are already milking the bucket. Now the question will be, are they going to go beyond Delaware? Because Delaware is losing millions of dollars because of SpaceX, Trump, or Musk leaving. There's another company, Meta, is leaving. So now Delaware can't collect the taxes on those companies. that were
Apparently,
based
they
in Delaware.
some judge in Delaware got stupid with Musk and
Yeah.
attempt to pee smack him and all over the corporation, and everybody went, huh.
So
and left.
Musk was very smart. Rather than go back to court, he went, you
Okay.
want to play that game? Okay, we're leaving. Bill Ackerman is the other one. Thank you, Sean. Yeah.
Going to Nevada and Texas.
Yep.
You know, Musk has done some things that I disagree with.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
I mean, the Cybertruck is.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
sure if
sorry.
you don't like it, it's amazing.
John loves the Cybertruck.
Well, and that's fine. Like I said, he does things that I disagree with.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that right now, whatever he's in charge of, I would not bet against.
No.
Nah.
And
I
the
don't
whole,
care what it is and how stupid it is.
And the whole thing about about Doge being illegal, it's not. It is actually a IT program under the executive branch.
Apparently, and I've read something. Apparently, what Trump did was take an executive agency that was created by Obama.
Yep.
To study IT.
Yeah.
Renamed it and apparently expanded the horizons, or broadened the horizons just a bit.
Yeah.
It's been in existence since apparently Obama's first term.
Yep.
He just renamed it, and apparently the name didn't actually change that much.
No, it didn't.
So,
Well, what cracks me up is everybody on the left is talking about Musk being an unelected bureaucrat.
Most
And
bureaucrats
Washington
are.
doesn't have millions of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Every bureaucrat I can think of is unelected.
Yeah.
So let's see. The ATF director,
Yep.
FBI director. Don't recall electing him.
I don't recall electing the local county board of health inspector.
Yeah.
And at least in Ohio, they passed what were effectively laws.
Yep.
So let me
Yeah,
see.
exactly. RK.
We've covered giant squealing robots. We've covered Tiffany Ross needing help. We covered giant squealing robots again. What else we
We
got?
covered Larry.
Covered Larry. That's been a while. Let's see.
We elected the guy who hired the bureaucrats. Yeah, that's in a
And
way true.
we did it again.
Yeah.
Oh, Devin Erickson. Apparently,
Oh yeah, this
some
is so hilarious.
unknown tiny little group had a contest. And Devin Erickson's book, Ring of Fire, he apparently didn't know about it, was nominated to
Christine nominated it for him, and
Oh.
she's telling-
Christine. It got nominated. And apparently, as soon as this group figured out who Devin was, they wrote up some bylaws and then used a code of conduct to bounce him. And I was when I first heard about it, I mentioned to Jonna and everybody else. I said, if Devin ever figures out that he got bounced, he might be a little annoyed. He's big enough that he doesn't need to care.
Is this WorldCon?
No.
Well, you know, it sounds like Worldcon.
Anyway, Christine was on Rider Dojo and saying she didn't want to be negative. I said, "Oh no, 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 no! You don't understand. Don't be negative.
So,
Do the Carnival Barker thing."
so last night when I couldn't sleep because of X and Henry, um, um, we were like jumping back through this. Apparently, it is a fairly large group of science fiction authors, kind of up in the Pacific Northwest, publishes a
Oh.
lot of books, and then they have an offset group that runs the contest, and it's a couple hundred authors. It's a big group of folks. It's like, oh hey, whole new friends group, right?
Yeah.
And this has been going on for a while. The original founders turned over the contest to volunteers, and a bunch of people who, and they have groups of judges because they do that. They started, somebody saw Devin's name on Blue Sky, where all the Shrieking Harpies have gone, and immediately started attacking all the judges and trying to get him removed. So they came after the contest. The contest apparently had lots of screaming matches back and forth with them and caved, did the code of conduct, and then bounced Devin. So now all of the authors who are still remaining, there's like 9 who have now pulled out of the contest, and it's all over X, and people are selling their books like crazy. And the little Shrieking Harpies are like, oh my God, you're attacking us. And I'm like, really, guys? Really?
Yeah.
And Christina this morning was like, just refuse to play. Just refuse to play. Give them nothing. And they're like, I was talking to one of the authors who's in the main group, and he said, well, they're trying to control all of science fiction indie. And I said, oh, honey,
Oh, nice.
don't stand in behind their gate. There's no fences. Walk around.
There's a gate there with no fences
Just
on
go
either side.
around. And he's like, really? I said, there's this huge community out here that they don't know anything about because these people have tried so hard to keep them in a bubble.
Yep.
And I'm like, seriously? Just walk around them.
But I was telling Christine, listen, what you do is you say, dare to read the book banned by whatever the hell is.
I know he's number 1 right now in his category. And all the other authors now, because Sarah's been reposting it on X, every time somebody says, I'm out, the whole list goes out again. And people are like, great, buy this book. And so now all the hated people, it's Goblin Market all over again.
Yeah.
Because that's
Great.
That's what we did when Dragon Con got stupid with Goblin Market. Is Mike trotted out his best Carnival Barker voice, and it's like, dare to read the book, too dangerous for whatever the hell is.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
Wally says the most important award is the Benjamins. Yes.
Well, you know, dare to read the book banned by Portlandia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's not negative. And Christine didn't want to do negative advertising. I can't say I blame her. Negative advertising is it's kind of icky.
It sells books though.
It does something, but don't do it negative. Do the banned book.
Yeah.
Are you banned enough to read this book? That's not negative.
The word salad reviews are always good for sales review.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sarah's having way too much fun amplifying. Yes. she
Oh
is.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Kennedy's. That's a whole nother cluster, to put it mildly.
No kidding. I don't want anything to do with the
Considering
Kennedy
how
family.
crooked the entire Kennedy family has been.
It started as a crime family, literally as
Yeah.
a crime family.
Yeah.
The patriarch of the Kennedy clan was a bootlegger during
Yeah.
Prohibition, made a
Yeah.
shit ton of money with illegal booze.
John, don't buy a single vote more than you have to. I'd be damned if I'm paying for a landslide.
Hey, Makedo's here.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah, I was questioning whether we were even going to be on today because it took a couple of tries to even get the friggin' live stream to load today. So, humor sneaks through the keyhole where seriousness is still banging on the door. Yes.
That sounds like a Pratchett quote. We
and,
love Pratchett. Pratchett was a philosopher for my generation.
and it's also true that, the lies that get shouted get 3 laps around the world before the truth can even get its pants on.
So
Being married to a white Mormon male with a nice rack, I understand where you're coming from.
oh, that joke. Okay.
Yeah.
I just doing doing. What software do you guys use? What?
I'm just using whatever is available
Oh.
on YouTube Studio. I do have StreamYard, but I only use that when we have guests. Brian, that. Depending on which way you look at the Kennedy family, RFK could either be the best or the worst. And it's
I don't like Kennedys.
some of us have a
I don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to our idiot senators, and every one of them, all 100 of them are idiots. I
Yeah.
don't care. Every one of these idiot Democrats that's throwing a fit about, okay, understand that the national debt is out of control.
34 trillion and rising.
To just pump what Trump and Doge are doing is going to slow down the national debt. Maybe it's not going to stop it, which is what needs to happen. To slow it down is going to hurt. To stop it is really going to hurt. The Democrats are screaming about the people losing their jobs, have had in some cases 50 years to fix the problem themselves. They've known about the spiraling uncontrolled national debt for decades and have done nothing about it. They need to shut up. They did nothing about the spiraling national debt because of moral cowardice. Whole bunch of people, everybody in Congress, which, if I might remind everybody, controls government finances and the budget, every one of them has known about the national debt.
Yep.
Everyone has been told something's got to be done before the U.S. defaults. And every stinking one of them up there has kicked the national debt can down the road, hoping that when America crashes, they'll already be out.
Same thing with Social Security.
And Social Security is wrapped up in it. It's
They've been robbing Social Security since day 3. That money was never supposed to go to the general fund. It was never supposed to be pulled out.
to fix the problem is going to hurt. People are going to lose jobs. Prices are going to go up. It's going to hurt. And everybody that votes to fix it is going to lose their cushy little elected job because the voters are going to be pissed. It's going to hurt the voters.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt me. It's going to hurt Jim. It's going to hurt everybody. They were cowards to not do it. They are hoping that if they keep giving out more than they're taking in, that they'll be able to retire with a cushy little nest egg and nobody mad at them.
They don't even care if somebody's mad at them if they got a cushy enough nest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name? Old hag that likes ice cream. Democrat.
Pelosi.
Yeah. She's got enough money that it doesn't matter who hates her. They can't get through the armed guards.
Yeah.
In California, where you're not supposed to be armed.
Well, actually, the one guy was able to. Of course, the question is, was he invited?
Well, it sounded to me I thought like he was. It was a lover spat, not a.
They've had every politician, every Congress critter, every Senate thing, every stinking one of them has known about the issue, has known something has to be done, and refused to do it because they don't lose their jobs.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about them sniveling because Trump, who doesn't need to get reelected and doesn't care, and Musk, who doesn't care, are actually trying to fix it.
Nuke Road Warrior, you're exactly right. Ross Perot may be crazy, but he was right.
These nuttier than squirrel turds, but even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
I'm going to paraphrase Jana here. Who would have thought that a billionaire from New York, his hillbilly sidekick, and
an autistic genius billionaire from South Africa
would wind up fixing things? How did we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
And, dragged along the WizKid program who deciphered 1,000-year-old burned scrolls.
Yeah. And
Okay. I put it on X. I'll just read you the whole thing. It now has like 5,000 likes on it. It's the second American Revolution, led by a New York billionaire with a hillbilly sidekick assisted by an eccentric ultra-billionaire who grew up in South Africa, who brought along a WizKid programmer who deciphered ancient burned scrolls. How did I end up in this timeline?
Yeah.
and it's true.
And if somebody had written that story for Raconteur Press, we would have bounced it.
No, nobody believed this crap.
Nobody believed that crap.
Nope.
Nope.
I told Cedar that this morning when I was showing it to her, talking about,
Yeah.
that's not fiction.
It has to be somewhat believable.
Fiction has to be somewhat believable. Truth doesn't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's the hard part of being a writer.
Balancing.
If I wrote something like what's actually happening today, I'd never sell a copy of that book
No.
because everybody would go,
Oh,
"Ain't no fucking way
you
this is
sell it
believable."
and you get 1-star reviews about not being believable.
Well, I got that with Cal Exit. Look what's happened.
of course,
Get a better writers group.
I have to say that Vance is not really a hillbilly. He grew up in Middletown, Ohio. That's
Oh,
not hillbilly land.
Yeah.
But they also call it Middle Tucky because there's so many Kentuckians in there.
Tom,
Sanford.
was it a
Sanford. He was a Marine Corps E4. That's hillbilly enough. Trust me.
Not any E4.
What?
shit? Had a bird go in the Philippines.
Okay. It's a Thursday.
Yeah, this was a security bird.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. One of our security birds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not
Leeds
good.
King Air 350. Ah,
Yeah, a lot of planes flying out of the sky. Anybody notice this?
And something I'm actually curious about. Are we having a lot of planes falling out of the sky, or is it getting reported a lot more?
ding.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if a airplane fell out of the sky under Biden's watch, well, you can't mention this because it's a problem.
Yeah. It looks bad and upsets civilians at their breakfast.
Yeah, that's gonna suck. And I'm betting I know who the contractors were and from which organization.
More cheerful things
Yes.
because goodness. I don't want to jinx anything by saying I'm not tired of winning, so I won't.
Yeah.
We have more books coming out. We're also next weekend is not next tomorrow, but the next. The Racketeer Press panel, y'all. If you're at FinCon, you might want to attend. We're going to have news.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of news. We're going to have a lot of fun at FinCon, I think. Jim's going to be there, so
Yeah.
And Cedar will be there.
Greg, I know which group you're talking about, and it's one of a few. There are any number of organizations, shall we say, out there who are supporting various R&D efforts in the surveillance world. The problem is the A, aircraft to support it, B, the trained personnel to support it. So that's why a lot of times it's going to be contractor supported because they're the only ones that know enough about the systems to actually get the systems to perform at the level you expect.
being a publisher has been somewhat of an eye-opening experience in more ways than one. I determined really quick there for about a week. I had the whole, oh my God, publishing is an esoteric business. There are deep, dark secrets and, manuals I'll never read. And I figured out it's all hokum and BS. I figured out real quick that I was just going to do things my way and see what happened. We're doing rather well for the size we are. We need to be doing better. We need what?
We're in year 2 of building.
Yes, we're in year 2 of building, and
It's work, but we're doing okay.
we're getting there, but we need to get there quicker and faster. So at FinCon, if y'all have ideas, come talk to me.
Really, what we need more than anything We just need new eyes.
We do.
Honestly, we have great stuff. We have great authors. We have terrific books. It's just a matter of getting outside of our social bubble and into the next one. So the best thing you can actually do is tell your friends about them. Put up a review. Tell us, recommend, if you've got Father's Day coming up, what is it? Mother's Day? Valentine's Day. You got a cat lady girlfriend, give them Moggies,
Yeah.
It's more like we need more word fame because really the product that we have is great.
We're selling to the same small group, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah, we just need to step outside our group. And that's what we're working on this year because we
Yeah.
got all the foundations laid this last year. So ultimately, it's just about spread the word that we're here.
But it's
y'all come
also
talk to me.
y'all
Yeah.
being smart enough to not overexpand.
Yeah, we're not overdoing. We're not going too fast.
Yeah.
Because if we go too fast, we're just going to train wreck ourselves.
David
So-
Badrina says, get on streams, connect with booktubers, get on podcasts. You remember what I
Well, gee,
said?
didn't I just ask
early-
you, David, about being on your podcast?
Well, also, as soon as you popped on, I said I need to
Yeah.
talk to him about being on the
right?
podcast.
Yes. So I just sent him a note going, "Hey, what about us?" So
Time traveling Regency romances contest.
Oh, God.
now wait a minute,
We're headed for guys.
doing fine. I
John,
mean,
John has sat down and showed me some demographic from X and from Facebook.
yeah, I was doing research for marketing research on our base customer.
Our base
So-
customer is 80% male.
Yeah, we're 80% male, about 20% female, and usually odd females like me.
Yeah.
So, and it's guys between like 35 and 65, and you're in that range. And because we all like to read the same kind of stuff, we love hard science and fun adventure,
Yeah.
right? God
So,
bless Ian for sitting through all of my data.
Oh.
So,
but we're a male specific 80% male audience.
Yeah.
Time traveling Regency is not a male thing.
I don't know. I think, oh no, right. There's only one author that actually had a Regency dress on that was a guy.
Matt, we're
So-
actually working on a set of book donations for BAMSI
Yes.
from a number of authors. And that's turning out to be harder than we thought because it's not, you can't just donate books to
Nope.
a military hospital. They actually have to be certified and approved by the hospital themselves.
Well, not only that, but I'm finding out DOD wants to have a look at them too.
Well, I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but we've got a number of authors that have contributed books to that. And I'm just waiting on the last bits to put together to submit the letter with all the authors and the book titles.
Well,
And
I
then
haven't got-
it'll be a hurry up and wait until they get it
Yep.
approved. And if they don't,
Ben-
we have a location in Alaska
Yeah.
that we'll donate the books to because they'll take them with no paperwork. We just got to pay to get the damn books there.
Sorry. Speaking of, when are you going to? Oh, asking good dawn. Okay. I actually had a thought that just went away. Again, my squirrels are ricocheting off the walls right now. Been an interesting morning.
I can believe DOD's interested in us because DOD.
For those of you who don't know, BAMC is Brooks Army Medical Center. It's the big hospital in San Antonio at Fort Sam
Yeah,
Fort Sa-
450 beds.
Houston in San Antonio. So we're trying to donate books so that folks, veterans that are recovering at BAMC will have something to read.
Because I know I donated over 200 books, hardback and paperbacks, when I left Virginia to Walter Reed Bethesda. And granted, that was almost 10 years ago. They took them with no question because I'd interacted with some of those folks through shooting primarily, and they are desperate for something to read.
Yep.
Because, yeah, they get the TV channels. But when you're sitting there in bed and you're recovering from whatever injury or injuries, plural, you had, you get bored.
Well, also, and this is a rant of mine that y'all don't want to sit through the full 2-hour rant. However, the abridged version is when you've got a bunch of young knuckle dragging warriors, which is what you have at BAMC. These are military, they're Army, Marines, Air Force. These kids get out there and get things done.
Yep.
What you have on the TV screen is typical Hollywood drivel in which the white males are stupid and must be guided by the wiser by the women and other wiser folks. These knuckle dragging thugs are not interested in that.
No.
They want something to, they do not want to watch basically themselves on screen as stupid and needing guidance because they're childlike.
Yeah.
And this is a rant.
Before Wounded Warrior went on their leftist bent, we used to do shoots at Quantico through QRC for the people that were up in Walter Reed. We would bring them down, and we had loaner rifles, and we would put the kids down on the guns at various ranges. And you would literally see tears in their eyes, because all they wanted to do was to get back to what they were doing.
But you've got some infantry kid, some 11 bang bang, who's recovering from IEDs.
Yeah.
Who took care of a squad of other trigger pullers. And he's laying in a bed and you turn on the TV. And the shows, the commercials, the adverts, every message out there is about what a moron he is. He doesn't want to read it. He doesn't want to watch it. Not only is it insulting drivel, but it's just not good. So we want to send them books they can read.
Yeah.
That don't make all the guys out to be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched television basically in 20 years or more. The last time I watched television, every show out there was white guy is a moron. So this has been going on for over a generation.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and adults are morons. Let's not forget the adults are morons if you're watching video.
Not adults specific. In general, adults, yes, but specifically parents.
Yeah.
The kids are smarter than their parents are.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, man, that's right. That's why Mac Bowen is still pumping out books.
Yeah.
And they're still in the fleet. They're still on the bases. If you go into an AFES book exchange, book department, if they still have one, Stars and Stripes still has bookstores. You will see a completely different load of books than you see in a Barnes and Noble.
That's one thing I miss about the military is the availability of men's action adventure.
Deputy sheriffs, there's been this big thing that one of the reasons that Ractor Press went the way it did. There's been this big thing about how men don't read.
Yeah.
I've been in the military.
You gotta be shitting me.
No, there's this men don't read books. You've seen it. This is the big thing is.
I thought that was a friggin' joke.
No, it's on Twitter and in social media.
Oh, good.
All these studies that the Manhattan Trad Pub, men don't read. I've been in combat arms. I've been combat arms in more ways than one. I've been the knuckle dragger out there at the tip of the spear. Everyone I knew of had books. Everyone I knew read, but they read the Mac Bowen stuff, Able Team, the chesty stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a cop, the Destroyer. When I was a cop, deputy sheriffs spend a great deal of time, or some of us spend a lot of time in hospitals, because your critters wind up needing
Something.
Your criminals wind up needing a lot of medical attention because basically their lifestyle. So every deputy sheriff I know of has a bag that when you get a call at 2 a.m, hey, Joe Critter's going to the hospital. We need somebody to sit on him. You grab that bag on the way out the door. It's got stuff in it. And every one of them has a couple of books. And they're not the books off of the bestseller list. What they are Leia Correa Monster Hunter books, Lord of the Rings, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Robert E. Howard, the stuff that Ractor Press is trying to put out, wanting to put out. It's what Manhattan laughingly referred to as men's, and men's. Louis L'Amour. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I read I read a John Van Stry's on here somewhere. I read his manuscript, and that's the sort of men's stuff that every man I know reads.
Yeah.
It'll never be in Wall Street's top or the New York Times top 40 bestsellers. It won't, but guys will buy it and read it. Men aren't reading because nobody's writing for men. Jim stuff
Well,
is written for men.
Yeah. It was a niche, and I was told I'd never sell a couple hundred books, and I've sold almost 20,000. But the downside of that is you end up with a reputation as a writer. And I ended up with a reputation for accuracy, which impacts all the other stuff that I write, because I have to do research to make sure what I'm writing is actually correct. But it also got me into a Baen anthology with hard science, to the point that when I submitted the manuscript or the story for the book, it's called Ross 248. Yeah, I can't hand wave him a damn
Hey,
thing.
Tiffany, the editor for Giant Squeeing Robots, which you need to go buy, it's out today.
Yeah.
Just popped on. So,
Yes. But the scientist in charge of putting the anthology together actually did the math to make sure my math was correct in the short story. Not that I got in any detail of it, as it was a very simple equation. But that's the level that you get into when you get a reputation. So, like John Van Stry having to do orbital mechanics. Yeah, that's the level we as writers have to do once we get that reputation. Because hand waving doesn't work.
I just want a reputation for writing books that people want to read.
Yeah.
I want a reputation for writing entertaining books or publishing. That's Racketeer Press. We want published entertaining books. And, I will not say no message fiction, because
All fiction is message fiction. It just how strongly it
if
is.
it's entertaining, the first series of Star Trek, had a lot of message in it. Had a lot of, but it was good. It was entertaining, and the message was a subplot.
Yeah.
I don't mind books like that, and I'll happily publish books like that. But don't preach. Entertaining first, and that's something I cannot get through a bunch of people's heads. Is it just be entertaining? The rest of it will come along. Be entertaining.
Yeah.
People will buy entertaining stuff. They will not buy preachy stuff. They will not buy message stuff. They'll buy entertaining stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and Mona Lisa Foster has run into this too. There's that fine line between enough information and too much information. And when you're doing hard science fiction, you want it to be entertaining. It's not the main thrust of the book.
Are you saying that someone's info dumps on ships and missiles that go on for chapters are really hard for the majority of us to read?
It could be.
Order that pizza, David. Get it over with.
Yeah. But by the same token, there are enough readers in those groups that know the science that will actually sit and figure stuff out. So that's why I'm saying you've got to tread that fine line. It's still got to be entertaining.
But otherwise, you're going to hear about how, no, he could not have done a Hohmann transfer orbit from those two positions,
right?
Because Venus would have been in the way.
One of the hardest things about writing the fuzzy Yeet space is it's space opera, but I want it to be somewhat. And
I'm still waiting. I've got a half a story written.
Well, I'm bogged down right now. In Fuzzy Yeet Cow Space Universe, there are no vessels faster than the speed of light, not even close. So, system to system travel is through an ancient series of gates that we call a Tannhauser web. So you have ships will leave, say, Earth. The gate in the Terran system is out by Jupiter. So you leave the Earth at 1G, and you go 1G to the halfway point, then you flip the ship and you do 1G deceleration. I should never have written that in there because that is such a pain in the ass.
Yep.
I should never have written that in there.
Well, Padre, the question is, Starship Troopers the movie or Starship Troopers the book?
There was no Starship Troopers the movie.
No, it wasn't, because that was made up out of the whole cloth.
That was called the Bug movie.
No.
James, hopefully you're getting some hits on those resumes.
Yeah, 1G Constance is hella fast. It really is. And I didn't think so at first, but apparently I was looking for a transit time somewhat equivalent to the 1400s, where we're looking at 2 weeks to a month to get from your habitable world to the transit station. And then from the transit station to the next, you got the hand waving, winky blinky next system, and then at 1 week to 1 month travel time to the next habitable. And I should have just hand waved the whole bullshit because, damn.
Point 1G in Summer's End. Yeah.
I may have to retro go back to point 1G.
Yeah.
There's a scene in one of the short stories for Uplifted Tales. The pharaohs. There's a small system, tiny little system, that's ruled by a pharaoh, and he's got these very much not space marines, these space legionnaires that are genetically engineered with armor, and they have just wiped out a platoon of fuzzy Cal Marines. There's this recon platoon, and it's being led by a human male. It's nothing but uplifted Bison Space Marines. You got a human male that's running it, and he's brand new. He's a second lieutenant, and they're not sure about him. Well, they're besieged by these space legionnaires, and there's the end of the second scene, second act, is they believe he's been offered. The space legionnaires are intensely xenophobic, so they execute Uplifted when they find him. So they have offered the human hostage. They'll take him as hostage and repatriate him back to the Terrans. And he goes out in front of his Marines to address them, and they think that he's fixing to leave. And he tells them that his final command is fix bayonets. And they suddenly realize that they're getting ready to charge. And the gunnery sergeant says, "That's your final order." And the human says, "Space Marines don't need this order. Follow me." And charge into massed guns and all this. Everybody wiped out. Well, the Legionnaires wipe out the Marines, and they know that there's a rescue fleet a week out coming in from the Tannhauser Gate, and they think that everything will be all right. Once they wiped out, it'll be fine. And the last scene is a Comtech coming to the legate of the Space Legionnaires and saying, "News from the inbound Terran fleet." And he says, "Yes. Have they surrendered?" He said, "No, sir. They just went to to 2G acceleration." And he's sitting there going, "What?" He said, "Yes, sir. They're on attack. They're on attack. They're on attack run." And that's how that short story ends. And that's where I got the 1G, 2G.
Yeah.
The accelerate. They went to 2G acceleration to show how we're fixing to stomp your asses flat. And I may have to go back and rewrite that because damn.
Well, you do what works, and this is the thing about being an author. You have the option before you publish something to change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your alpha and beta readers.
Well, I've got this entire universe I now have to change things on.
Now you can do a global change.
Ah!
It's not that hard.
What you do is 1G is, instead of 1G, it's full normal cruise.
Yeah.
2G is combat cruise.
Yeah, flank speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, a human being can stand for a good period of time up to 3 Gs.
Don't like it. but
Don't
can
like
stand
it, yeah, but you can function at 3 Gs. And we've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Holy crap, we have.
I realized today was pretty much of a downer. We apologize for that, but we had to get some things off our chest.
Giant Swing Robots is out. Please buy it because you're supporting Tiffany Ross.
Yeah.
If you don't want to buy Giant Swing Robots, that's okay. I understand. But buy her books.
Yeah.
She's got books out there. Buy her books. She has a Give, Send, Go up. If you can't donate, and I understand, spread the Give, Send, Go so other people will donate. Tiffany's good people. She needs help. ICU stays. Trust me, I know from multiple occasions. ICU stays are not cheap.
Yes, her book is Rex Regis by T.C. Ross. Tune in Tuesday for a food special. Well,
What?
we'll see.
What?
I don't know.
We're doing food?
I don't know.
Okay.
We do owe them another round of the.
Oh, Tom Rogamy sent me a dill pickle hot sauce that is fantastic.
Yeah,
It's great. I love that stuff.
Space Jam. Eric, really? On that note,
What do
we're
we
done.
what do we do to you?
At least it's not toe jam.
Remember, folks,
We're out of here.
don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you next week.
Be safe, guys.
Have a good weekend and enjoy the Super Bowl commercials. Screw the game.
David.